Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? All right. So I'm Tina. I'm really happy and excited that we've all come here together today to support each other and learn from each other and do our best to take action for a cleaner and safer and healthier, more connected communities in Contra Costa and in Chicago and beyond. So thank you for being here. I was just watching the draft. Is anybody watching the draft today? Raise your hand. So something that struck me was I was listening to the New Orleans Saints coach, Sean Payton, and he's recovering from COVID, and he was talking about how people are adapting surprisingly well in this situation that we're all in, and that people are really actually enjoying connecting with each other on a different, deeper, sort of, more intimate level. We're seeing each other in our homes. And I'm struck by how much this is creating really a common thread for all of us across the whole world and bringing us together. We have a common, we're in this fight together against this common enemy. And I think this sets a precedence for to be able to help us stand up together for the climate and do what it takes and join together with people across the world for a clean and healthy planet. We've proven we can rise up together for the pandemic, and we can do it for the climate and protect our life systems on Earth. Before I turn it over and welcome, and really excited to have our speakers and Supervisor Gioia coming up next, or yes, that's right. I kind of wanted to share, this for a long time. I took this thing, something called the Awakening the Dreamer from Pachamama Alliance. And they left us all, sort of their mantra is and this is something that I have committed to, and it's, I am committed to bringing forth an environmentally sustainable, spiritually fulfilling, and socially just human presence on this planet as the guiding principle of our times. And I think we're ready for that. And thank you for being here and, being together with me and all of us together for this. So now let's bring in, invite Supervisor John Gioia. Thank you. I know you've been doing a lot in your own home, and I'm looking forward to hearing how you're doing and what you want to share with us today, John.
John, you're still muted on your end, but I have, oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
There you go.
Good. I unmuted myself. Am I here?
Yeah.
You are on.
Thanks, Tina, for really helping put this together. And I just want to say thank you, everybody, for participating today and really being part of important action, because I think this shows how resilient we are as a community, that we can talk about improving our planet and the environment and actually do things from our own homes. And I'm wearing my coastal cleanup shirt because I know there will be a time when we will all be back out in action in the community, doing cleanups and helping the environment in tangible ways. So I think this is just, for me, a sign of hope that, and thinking about the enjoyment we've had when we're out on Earth Day and doing good things for the planet, that this will happen again. So I think we need to keep that hope and understand that that's out there. And I think it's important for us, and Tina talked about this, to sort of reflect about where we are. I mean, who would have thought that on the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, that we were going to be acknowledging it, celebrating it, in this way from our homes. But I was thinking about that and reflecting that, we're actually being very effective as a planet in fighting this virus by our changed behaviors. All of what we're doing of staying home and social distancing is showing that it's effective in slowing the spread of the virus. And I think it makes us understand and appreciate that it will take the same types of behavior changes to be effective in fighting climate change and global warming, and that we can do it. I think, if anything, this pandemic, this crisis makes us appreciate that when we're acting as a global community, that we can be successful. And we had a meeting. I'm on the California Air Resources Board, and we held our meeting on Thursday. It was in Sacramento, but we all participated from our various homes from around the state. And we talked about how we are not letting up on the new strategies and the new initiatives that California is pursuing to fight climate change. That if anything, we realize how important our action is as a state, our collective action, and our global action. So I feel that as we get through this crisis, we're going to be more empowered and more resilient to act together to fight climate change and be effective. And here in the Bay Area, where driving is down about 50%, while we know that so many people are facing financial hardship as a result of this pandemic, we're also seeing cleaner air as a result of less driving and less emissions from cars. And I think as we look at that, we can appreciate that the quicker we get to a zero emission transportation system and a zero emission society, which we're working toward in policies in this state and in the Bay Area, we will enjoy this benefit of cleaner air and healthier air. So hopefully, even in the midst of everything we're dealing with, we know that we can be effective when we're together and we're stronger together. So I appreciate all of you coming together at this time, and you're going to hear more about what you could do through our Cleaner Contra Costa Challenge from our great sustainability director. And for those of you that may not know, we have a great sustainability commission in Contra Costa County that works with us, that harnesses a lot of ideas and powers from the community on strategies we can pursue as a county, working with all of you to make not just this county, but our whole Bay Area a better place. So thanks for participating. Thanks for being part of this virtual action. And we will get out soon, right, at the right time to continue to do our work in the community, but remembering that we can also do things from home, and we're going to hear a lot about that today. And Tina, thank you for really the idea of putting this together and knowing that we can be in each other's homes at this time and feel connected with each other. And I feel more connected through these types of events. So thanks.
Okay, thank you. Jody, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, you're on.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jody London, and I'm the Sustainability Coordinator for Contra Costa County. Tyler's going to pull up a couple of slides that I put together for today, and he's also, being the technological wizard that he is, probably going to post those on the SCOCO website when this is over. I want to give you an update on some work that we're doing to update the county's climate action plan, and also an item that is going to be going to the Sustainability Committee, which Supervisor Gioia is part of, in about a month. And my contact information is here on this first slide, so feel free to follow up with me. And I am working from my home these days, like many of us are, and I feel very blessed to be able to do that. Let's move on to the next slide, please. So the county, I don't know how many of you are aware, but the county is in the process of updating its general plan. The county hasn't updated its general plan in about 30 years, so this is a much needed activity. We're also at the same time updating our climate action plan. And this is the latest version of the goals that we have for our draft climate action plan. Oops, it just went away, Tyler. We're looking at the agenda here.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Some of you may have participated in some meetings that we had in the fall, and we really appreciated that. And we're on schedule, as I said, to update the climate action plan. Is moving with the general plan. We're hoping to have both documents, adopted by the board by the end of the year. They both have to go through review under the California Environmental Quality Act, but because of current circumstances, you know, it's possible there could be a delay. Not that anybody wants that, but I'm sure we all understand. So what we heard when we went out and talked with Contra Costa residents, both around the general plan and around the climate action plan, is that people in Contra Costa County, and the turnout today is evidence of this, want a clean and efficient built environment. You guys were very interested in having resilient communities and natural infrastructure. So we're thinking ahead about what is climate change going to bring, how do we anticipate that and plan for it so that everyone is okay. And I think the analogies that have been made already to COVID-19 are very helpful. No waste Contra Costa. We definitely want to generate less waste, and I'm very curious to see how we solve that in the current situation where you can no longer use your recyclable bags and so on and so forth. I've started packing my groceries right into my cart when I go to the store, my personal cart. Water use and drought resilience. Today's a hot day and we're all reminded that we are still in a drought. Clean transportation network. This has come through again and again. People want to be able to bike, walk, and take transit safely and relatively cost effectively. And one of the most interesting things for me about the current work from home situation is telecommuting. I'm working, hopefully we'll be able to update the county's telecommute policy for our county employees. Climate equity is really, really important, particularly in our county where there are so many folks who live near large industrial facilities and often bear the brunt of exposure to contamination. So we want to make sure that everyone is able to live in a clean community. And we want to, you know, improve accessibility to many of those features, including gardens and other things, parks. And the other thing I heard loud and clear when we were out talking with folks is Contra Costa County residents want their county to be a leader and a model on how we take action on climate issues. So these are the draft goals in our climate action plan. I'd love your feedback on them. You're welcome to send me an email. You can find more about this at envisioncontracosta2040.org or on the county's sustainability website, which is also on the first page of this deck. If we can go to the next deck, please, Tyler. Thank you. So now I want to share with you, I know people are very interested in taking action. And Supervisor Gioia talked about our Sustainability Commission, which is a 17-member commission. I want to recognize Nick Despoda, the Vice Chair of our Sustainability Commission. I saw you put something up in the chat, Nick. Thank you very much for your service. So our Sustainability Commission, which I staff, is pushing the Board of Supervisors, suggested to the Board of Supervisors that the climate issue is extremely dire. And we were actually going to bring this draft climate emergency resolution to the board's Sustainability Committee on March 23rd. And that was when everyone was told to work from home and we canceled the meeting. So we are going to be bringing this to the Sustainability Committee on May 29th. And the meeting will be Zoomed or somehow broadcast. I'm not sure which platform we'll be using yet, but stay tuned for that. So basically what's going to be in this draft climate emergency resolution? What I anticipate we're going to be, the staff, that's me, and the folks who work with me, will be recommending to the Sustainability Committee is 3 actions. 1, we want to see the county, we want to see the board direct our county administrator and other county departments to establish an interdepartmental task force that will focus on implementing the county's climate action plan and identify additional things that the county can be doing to reduce and adapt to the impacts of a changing climate. And this is something that, in my opinion, is long overdue, and I'm very hopeful that once we get through COVID-19, we will see how important it is to come together across county departments to tackle big challenges. The other thing, and this next item has come straight from our Sustainability Commission, is they're very interested in seeing the county establish a carbon transition advisory group that's going to help the county think about what's going to happen when there's not as much fossil fuel extraction and processing going on, and how do we move from the fossil fuel economy that we have now to a different economy. And it's very interesting to me that during the COVID-19 shutdown, the new owners of the Shell facility in Martinez are actually unloading a couple of those facilities there because they aren't profitable right now. So really thinking ahead about what do we need to do here is something that our Sustainability Commission has been very clear about. They also want to make sure that we're looking at health, socioeconomic, and racial equity issues when we think about policy and climate solutions. And one of the things that I didn't put on the slide but has come through in our conversations with our Sustainability Commission is they would like the county to put more resources into, basically staff up in the sustainability realm. That I will say that budgets are tight everywhere. It's going to be really hard sledding, and advocacy from you all is going to be really helpful in making sure that we collectively keep our eye on the climate issue and don't let it get shunted aside. In my opinion, climate should be part of how we recover. Green jobs, rebuilding, green buildings, building more parks, building green schoolyards. These are all things that I think should be part of our recovery strategy in Contra Costa County. So I'm going to stop there and move on to the next speaker, or I don't know if we're doing the Q&A, Tyler, so you'll direct me.
Yeah, thank you. I just was noticing in the chat, for those of you who aren't paying attention to the chat, our wonderful partners in Antioch and Walnut Creek have indicated places where you can be involved in those cities' climate action plans and the updates that are going on there. So if you're an Antioch resident or Walnut Creek resident, take a look. We are going to record this chat, and I'll try to make it available to everyone. It's a little bit of a process to get access to everybody's email address after the Zoom meeting. So to make it easy, and if you don't want to wait, I'm going to encourage you to do this at the end as well. Just sign up for our e-newsletter on our website, sustainablecoco.org, and you'll hear from us faster.
Tyler, one more thing. I want to thank Kara from Walnut Creek and Julie in Antioch. We work very closely together, and we're really looking at how we can make sure that at least among those two cities and the counties, we have some similarity in the plans that we adopt and the actions that we take and how we measure things. So that's just want to assure folks that we do coordinate that way.
It's a fabulous and inspirational to see how closely you're working together, and not to forget a shout out to our other city partner, City of San Pablo, also, who's doing wonderful things. So yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing in the chat is about the climate action plans. John pointed out that the Cali Air Resources Board is going to be expanding the health analysis of all the new strategies and regulations. Nick, who's on the commission, wants to point out that we do not go back to business as usual, but we go forward to a low carbon economy. Hear, hear. So thanks for everybody for contributing on the chat, and keep doing that. Tina, do you want to set up our next set of presenters?
Sure, and I first want to say, well, I'm really excited. A little bit later, I'm going to share with everybody about the Cleaner Contra Costa Challenge platform. But I want to thank Jody London, our county's sustainability coordinator, for all the work that she did to make it possible. We worked together with Jody and Julie from the city of Antioch, and Kara from Walnut Creek, and Sarah and Amanda from San Pablo, and worked together to get a grant from the Bay Area Air Quality Management District to make this platform possible. And they allowed us to set it up and bring it to everybody here in Contra Costa. So thank you guys for your partnership. The next three speakers will be sharing some of their insights and ideas for 3 specific actions that you can take on the Cleaner Contra Costa Challenge platform and while we're hanging out at home. So I actually think I'll let Tyler introduce, well, I will say that we're going to have Kimberly Lamb with Public Services, and Amanda and Dave Casey with Sustainable Rossmoor, and Jackie Mann with 350 Bay Area and 350 Contra Costa. And she has other affiliations as well. But I can't remember who we're starting with, so Tyler, you can introduce the first speaker.
Okay, yeah, we're starting with Dave and Amanda from Sustainable Rossmoor. So go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys, and I will get ready with your slides.
Great, great. Thanks. Should we shift it? Hi, Amanda and I are so excited to be here, to be with you on the 50th anniversary of Earth Day.
And we're very excited to talk with you about our personal journey to eating lower down the carbon chain. Our journey is full of delicious, nutritious meals with exciting spices and sauces.
But sometimes our journey is a peanut butter sandwich and beans and cheese on a tortilla.
Our journey is full of many new friends who are focused on the planet and on plant-based eating.
It's something you can do while you're at home. We hope our journey will inspire you to do your own investigation, to get creative in the kitchen, and to go on your own journey to eat lower down on the carbon chain.
And we hope you will invite others to join you on your journey.
So who are we? As an introduction, I'm Dave Casey.
And I'm Amanda Casey.
We've lived in Contra Costa County for about 50 years. We attended Kennedy High School in Richmond.
We have 2 children.
And I'm a retired project manager from Caltrans.
And I'm a retired CPA and financial executive.
We're both members of Sustainable Rossmoor. And a fun fact about me is I love being in the Sierras, backpacking and hiking, or just smelling the pine trees up there.
And a fun fact about me was that I was born in Australia and I grew up eating lamb 3 or 4 days a week.
So let's get started. So what does eating lower down the carbon chain mean? I'm sure you all know, but it means eating more plant-rich meals that include beans, legumes, grains, nuts, fruits, and vegetables. And it means eating less beef and lamb. And it's one of the actions that if you join Cleaner Contra Costa Challenge, you can take and your team will get points and will cut carbon dioxide. Next slide. So why are we talking about beef? This slide from getgreennow.com shows that a serving of beef makes about 6.6 pounds of carbon dioxide, while a serving of rice or legumes or grains and vegetables is about 40 times less. So if you want to keep down greenhouse gases, we need to eat lower on the food chain. Thank you.
Our journey began in earnest in 2019 when we joined plant-based Rossmoor. We joined because we were interested in learning more about plant-based eating, and it was social. It was fun, and the food was amazing. We started to learn about the significant impact of animal agriculture on the environment, and we saw the movie Game Changers and learned a lot about the health benefits of plant-based diets. And during this, we were having a lot of fun with new friends. Next.
So we know it's hard for a household to shift and start a new diet plan from meat towards more plant-based meals. And it's different to start bringing plant-based dishes to family events and to other activities. But we wanted to make a statement to our neighbors in Rossmoor and to our extended family that we're committed to eating plant-rich meals. So these are some hors d'oeuvres that we took to some of the activities that we go to before the shelter in place. And this is a pecan salad with individual servings in a little cup of cabbage. And the other dish is a spicy buffalo cauliflower bites that goes good with a beer. So the next slide, we also took meals to our extended family activities. This one is a corned tofu that we prepared for St. Patrick's Day, which we didn't get a chance to share, so we had it at home. Next slide.
And here's a quote from our daughter. "I never thought I would see my dad serve dinner without a meat dish, let alone bring a lentil loaf to Thanksgiving. Guess you can teach an old dog new tricks."
That's me. Go ahead.
This pie chart is from Project Drawdown, and it shows the relative impacts of 80 different solutions to climate change. On the right-hand side, you can see a yellow arrow where it's pointing to plant-rich diet. A plant-rich diet is in the top 4 solutions for addressing climate change. It is free to start, it's simple, and it doesn't require any government policy, and you can do it at home.
While you're sheltering in place.
while you're sheltering in place. Next one, Tyler, please.
So what's wrong with eating meat? Well, according to the United Nations, livestock is responsible for 18% of the greenhouse gases. And one of the key ones is methane, which is a very potent greenhouse gas. And in addition, the deforestation in the Amazon is being caused in a major way by clearing land for cattle grazing and for growing soy and corn to feed to cattle. So animal agriculture is one of the top 5 sources of greenhouse gases in the world. Next slide.
Today on our journey, we're very active with the Planet Friendly Eating team at Sustainable Rossmoor. We're focused on education, action, and outreach. So it was very exciting for us to be invited here today. Dave and I joined the Meatless Monday Global Movement so that we can access free resources and information and keep abreast of all of their work in 35 countries. And just this month, Sustainable Rossmoor has proclaimed all Mondays as Meatless Mondays.
Yay. So next slide. So
Other way.
Oh, the other way.
Thank you.
Good. So there's many ways you can start off to eat lower down the carbon chain. There's no one right way, but it's important to start and just to keep moving and evolving in your journey. You can start, as was shown here, with Meatless Monday of 1 meat-free day a week, but there's other ways to say a meat-free weekdays or meatless before 6 p.m. And you can be a vegetarian, a flexitarian, a reducitarian, a vegan, or eat a whole food plant-based diet.
Next,
Next slide.
please. So what are the next steps that we recommend? Well, first, look at the Cleaner Contra Costa Challenge webpage on eating lower down the carbon chain. Talk with your household members about this perspective change.
You can try new recipes,
You can find supportive friends and family.
and there's plenty of online cooking classes and cooking demonstrations to learn about new meals.
And we recommend signing up for Meatless Monday weekly newsletter so that you receive on a weekly basis inspiration, a recipe, and a reminder of why this is important.
So that was our journey to an almost meatless diet. This is how you can contact us, Dave Casey and Amanda Casey.
We wish to thank you and remember to march to a different drumstick.
And that's all.
That's it.
Thanks.
Wow, that was great, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're ready to move on. I don't see, well, actually there was one question. Guys, somebody asked, was it hard for you to have your family members, for other family of your family members to accept your new diet?
Yes, it went over okay, but it really wasn't a big Thanksgiving loaf. Didn't go over really well, but it was okay.
Right, and the tofu ham at Christmas also didn't receive a lot of support, but it's good to get started. It's easier within I think some of our family members saying they're adapting, so they're getting used to us and our journey.
That's wonderful. We also had a question just specifically for how people sign up for the Meatless Monday. Do you just Google Meatless Monday, or is there an easy website?
Yeah, you just Google Meatless Monday. There's a website, and on the home page, there's sign up for the Meatless Monday newsletter.
And then the last question is somebody who's curious, does the Meatless Monday also apply to fish?
Meatless Monday
Implies that one day a week you are not eating meat, which would include fish.
Yes. So you can, their pledge is 1 day a week at least.
Right. Yeah, I think they were just interested in the fish question, which is
Still have some fish.
where you draw the line. Yeah. Okay, thank you guys. That's wonderful. And note the contact information, but like I say, we'll have this conversation in the chat available later. And Kimberly Lamb from Republic Services is next. Are you ready to go, Kimberly?
I'm ready.
Okay, so here's your first slide.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Kimberly from Republic Services. We are a garbage recycling compost company, and I'm here to talk trash, but actually I'm here to talk a little bit higher up on the chain of waste reduction. If you participate in Cleaner Contra Costa, you'll see there's a challenge for reducing and reusing. And I just wanted to do a shout out to all the other R's that are related to waste reduction: refusing, repairing, resharing, researching, recycling, and so on. Next slide. But before we talk about reducing and reusing, just the basics. Recycling is still important, and right now it's more important than ever that our recycling is empty, clean, and dry. So I thought this was a great visual of, oftentimes what I see when I work with businesses or residents is what's on the left. Just a lot of things mixed together, but it really is important that we put the correct stuff in the recycle bin so that it can have the best chance of actually getting recycled. Next slide. So since we're all hanging out at home, you're probably spending quite a bit of time in the kitchen. And some ideas to reduce waste there is to have an Eat Me First bin. This is great because, especially if you're doing a lot of shopping all at once, it's sometimes hard to keep track of what food is starting to, go past its best by date. And so this is a great way to remind yourself to incorporate these ingredients in your next meal. Also, cooking with leftovers can be really fun and get your creative juices going. There is a great website called Zero Waste Chef. She's a blogger and she's got some great ideas as well. Also, the freezer is your friend. If there's so many ways that you can save things for later by freezing it, packaging things properly and then putting in the freezer will extend the life by usually a couple months at least. And then best by dates, a lot of people treat those as very strict dates where you have to throw something away if it's past that date. And that's not true. These are just dates that are suggested by the manufacturer as when things are at their peak, but really things are often good, days, maybe a week or two or even more after that. And there's some great ways to test things, like with eggs. If it floats in a jar of water, it's not good, but if it sinks, you can still eat it, even if the date has passed. And then there's great tips on stopfoodwaste.org for proper food storage so that your food can last a lot longer. Next slide. So now we move on to the bathroom. You're also everyone's spending some time in there. There are easy ways to reduce waste in the bathroom and the laundry room as well. Buying in bulk. I know buying stuff is a little bit tough these days, but you can buy big jugs of refill soap and shampoo and things like that, and just refill your small container. These dryer balls in the upper left photo are a great replacement for the dryer sheets. They are a great way to reduce the drying time and just reusable as well. Toilet paper, as you probably know, is really hard to find. Bidets are a great alternative if you want to try that out. That will save you a lot of toilet paper and time at the store looking for toilet paper. Loofahs, and there's all sorts of great replacements and alternatives for single-use items in the bathroom. Next slide. Also wanted to put in a plug for buying recycled content. The whole point of recycling is to reduce the amount of virgin material that we're using to manufacture items. And so we have to help create that demand for items that use recycled content in the product itself. So, when things are more readily available in the store, trying to look for recycled content, aluminum foil, paper, bath tissue, all of that is a great way we can support that market. Next slide. Now we move on to your closet and just your general household stuff. There are great ways to reuse things. Right now is a little bit tricky with the shelter in place, but you set things aside that you want to get back into the reuse economy. Some great ideas to check out later on. Nextdoor is very convenient. There are Facebook Buy Nothing groups. I've gotten some great things there. Those are very localized. Great way to also meet your neighbors after the shelter in place is over. Let Go, Craigslist, OfferUp, FreeCycle, all sorts of resources out there, even some where you can make some money from your reusable goods. And then of course our trusty thrift stores and consignment stores. Next slide. One note about that though, a lot of the thrift stores are closed right now. So please, please, please call them in advance before you go with your haul of stuff, because we don't want to create more of a problem than we need to. And this is actually the Goodwill, I think, in Pleasant Hill. So we want to make sure we're responsible when we reuse. Next slide. Another R is repair. And I think there's a bit of a surge in interest in this as we're all at home and maybe have a little bit more time. You know, there's some, YouTube has videos on everything. If you need to sew a button back on a shirt, mend, you know, a bike tube tire, and there's a great website also called iFixit. They have manuals for different products, so you can try to repair your iPhone instead of just tossing it and getting a new one. They also are fighting for the right to repair, and you can go on that website to learn more about that. Also, you know, you might be surprised if you just reach out to your local community, your friends and family. There are a lot of folks who have skills that can come in handy, and you can do a little skill swap there. And you can also support local businesses if they're open. There's a lot of, you know, sewing machine repair shops, vacuum repair shops, things like that. Next slide. And then, you know, if you do need to buy something, there are some steps you can take to make sure that you're doing it in the most sustainable way possible. First, ask yourself if you really need it. If you need it, is there a way you can borrow it if it's something that you don't use all the time? And then looking for items that are extremely durable, so you know that they will last a long, long time, is a great way to reduce waste. Looking for things that are repairable, you know, made of high quality materials that you will be able to sew or mend, is also very important. And then looking also at sustainable materials. There's a big movement finally in the clothing and textile industry to look at different types of materials there. Right now, a lot of our clothing is made from blends of polyester and other synthetic materials, which are hard to recycle. So there are some companies doing some great work there on both the sustainable materials and also the repairability, companies like Patagonia and some other places. And then I also wanted to leave off on this photo of our reusables. Right now is a tricky time because a lot of stores, we're not, you know, really supposed to be using the reusable bags in grocery stores right now. Jody mentioned, you know, she puts her groceries in her cart and then brings that to her car to load in, so she reduces the bags that way. I think, as you know, we should still hang on to these items and know that, you know, hopefully we'll be able to use them again. But as long as we're washing these items, you know, a lot of times these are actually maybe cleaner than the disposables that we're getting that a lot of people are handling. So I'm hopeful that even with the COVID-19 situation, that the zero waste movement won't be set back too far. And I think as long as we're all doing our part in our homes and with our borrowing and repairing and shopping habits, that we will be able to reduce a lot of waste. Thank you.
Oops. Okay, that was the next presenter. But Kimberly, I warned you that you were going to have a lot of questions. And unfortunately, we are kind of up against our time deadline. So I don't think we're going to be able to get to everybody on this particular live session, but we will try to answer your questions and have Kimberly take a look at them. There was just one that you might want to comment on, which was the decline in the recycling markets overseas, the demand decreasing from China. And this was Ryan who said, are there domestic uses for our recycling, and how much of what we put in the bin is ultimately recycled?
Yeah, so for recycling, still most of what you put in your recycle bin, as long as you're putting in the right stuff, is getting recycled. The tough materials are plastics numbers 3 through 7. Those are some of the crinkly, lower quality plastic containers. And those are also the items where you can hopefully find more reusable options for that type of, or less packaging that won't involve that type of low quality plastic. But I can look through the questions in the chat and respond to those after, maybe through email or something like that.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our next presenter, Jackie Mann from 350 Contra Costa. Are you ready to go, Jackie?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jackie Garcia Mann from 350 Contra Costa, which is affiliated with 350 Bay Area. And we are a grassroots climate movement that seeks to eliminate greenhouse gas pollution and presses for a just transition to clean energy. So why 350? So many of you might know that 350 parts per million of CO2 in our atmosphere is considered the highest safe level for a stable climate. And unfortunately, we have already passed 350 and we are closer to 413. So we need to flatten the curve for our climate as well as for COVID, and keep our temperatures down. Next slide, please. So climate science, the really fast version is, it's warming, it's us. We are sure. It's bad. And the good news is we can fix it. We have the solutions. Next slide. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about 350 Contra Costa programs. The important thing here is to know that when you join an environmental activist organization or get involved in city and county meetings in any way, your civic engagement really makes a difference. So at 350 Contra Costa, we seek to be a welcoming front door. We welcome new people to come in, whether you know about any of these areas or not. We're going to give you education. And on our website, you can find a lot of resources where we need people to help with phone calls and letters and going to meetings. So we support youth climate action, like the Youth Apocalypse movement, Youth versus Apocalypse, and Sunrise. We work on legislative and policy actions at many different levels. Everything from attending Board of Supervisors meetings to writing letters to Governor Newsom. And of course, we let you know when there are things happening in our area at your own city councils where you should show up or you should talk to people, and that your actions can really make a difference. Next slide, please. And today I'm going to talk about community climate action and how our collective actions really scale up. So as you've heard today about your personal actions of recycling and your diet, I want you to know that when we all come together, we have a lot more power. And we have wonderful leadership in our county, and I want to thank Supervisor Gioia, and we have really progressive electeds and people like Jody London on the Sustainability Commission. But even these people need to hear from the constituents, from the voters, from the people in their districts. So together we create community climate action by supporting the processes that will give us a cleaner environment. Next slide, please. So in the background of these slides, you might notice some refineries and tank farms, and the refineries that we're so used to driving by, and perhaps we don't give them much of a thought. But it's important to know that Contra Costa County is the second largest refining center on the West Coast. So only LA has a larger oil industry. What that means is that we are at the local level able to affect changes and direct actions that can scale up and be a model for other parts of the state and hopefully the country and perhaps even the world. Next slide. So in many places, we have people living right by refineries and drilling and fracking sites. These are some pump jacks in the background in Southern California. And we are very concerned about the health impacts of air pollution and chemical and water pollution on people living by these industries. And next slide, please. And this is from our county general plan, an update that was done just recently. And these red zones are high asthma rates. And the blue circles are refineries and tank farms and heavy industry. So you can see that there's a correlation here between asthma and industry. These are often communities of color and low-income people, and they are suffering from the effects of these chemicals in their lives. And I want to point out that we like to talk about environmental justice because we might be using these products, these oil products that are produced in other communities, and we don't suffer the effects from them. But these are our neighbors, and this is still our neighborhood, and we need to help these other people. Next slide, please. And we need to think about the equity, the environmental justice of keeping the environment clean for everyone, everywhere, because there is a disproportionate impact on people living by these refineries in more polluted areas. So what is environmental justice? Okay, let's just go through the local area. That's okay. So some of the local issues that we're looking at 350, these have different levels of regional control. So sometimes we might tell you to write a letter to your state senator, other times it's your rep or the board of supervisor or Governor Newsom. So no coal enrichment. We were in an alliance with Protect the Bay and many other larger environmental groups like Sierra Club to help stop coal trains from going through Richmond neighborhoods, and that coal was going to be exported. That is going to be in a lawsuit soon. And we had as many as 200 or 300 people showing up for meetings in Richmond to protest the coal trains, and we won. It was a really good victory for people's health. Right now, what we're focusing on is there is an Army Corps of Engineers plan to dredge 13 miles of San Francisco Bay to the Port of Stockton, and that is to allow more oil tanker traffic. And we are also protesting the expansion of Phillips 66 refinery because we should be planning for phasing out of fossil fuels. Some other larger campaigns going on are Stop the Money Pipeline, which is divestment from fossil fuel companies. And we do that by divesting from banks and insurance companies that are funding fossil fuel development. And on the flip side of divestment, we need a lot more investment in renewable clean energy. We live in a great area for wind energy and solar energy. Some of the terms you'll be hearing in the future of environmental movement, many of you have already heard about the Green New Deal. And we were talking about the just transition to a clean economy, but now we're talking about a just recovery from COVID. And a just recovery would be a world that considered environmental equity as we try to solve the climate crisis. Next slide. So some of the actions you can do to fight climate change, of course, every letter that you write, every phone call, every email, every petition you sign, those things make you an advocate and an activist. And I want you to know that, cat involvement, that those actions really make a difference. For instance, on the dredging of San Francisco Bay, There were 9,000 public comments to CalGEM protesting the dredging of San Francisco Bay. There were 36,000 people who signed petitions against this dredging, which is basically another fossil fuel subsidy. And the other things, one of the other big things you can do is just to talk about climate. Everything you do, every time you let people know why you are making decisions about recycling or your diet, please share with other people why you are making those decisions. My husband and I had stopped flying very much. We were really trying to limit our vacations, and we really made a point to tell other people that that we were choosing not to travel because of our concerns about climate. Next slide. And, oh, there we go. So one of the actions you can take right now is to go to 350bayareaaction.org, and there's a link to a letter that you can sign, and AB 345 is a rule to create a health and safety setback from drilling and fracking sites. And this would be a 2,500-foot setback from schools, hospitals, and playgrounds. Right now, fracking and drilling can take place immediately on the property lines close to where young and vulnerable people play and visit daily. So this is about environmental justice for those communities who live near oil and gas fracking sites. And so you can send letters. You can send letters to your supervisors, to Newsom, and to CalGEM. This one is at a higher, also Senator Glazer, if you're in his district. And we invite you to go to our website and sign up for a newsletter for 350 Bay Area. And you can find us under the local groups page. We're 350 Contra Costa, and we'll keep you updated on what some of the local environmental issues are here in our county. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. That was wonderful. We had a good conversation in the chat, but we are coming up against our time deadline, so we'll share those questions with you at some point, and we can answer those offline, as we say. I am having trouble unmuting you, Tina, so I was going to turn it over to you. There we go. So Tina's going to take it over now and talk to us about the Cleaner Contra Costa Challenge.
Of course, I had this all lined up and ready. There it is. Okay. So I hope, I know we're going to run a little bit over time, but please bear with me and stick with us I'll go through this really quickly because I'm really excited to share with you this Cleaner Contra Costa Challenge platform. It's a way that we can all work together, and it's a really important tool that we've put a lot into, and it's awesome. So I really want to share it with you all. So hang in there. So we created the challenge to make it simple, easy, and even fun for everyone in Contra Costa to learn about the solutions that we have on climate and sustainability, and where you can find actions that will not only have an impact on the climate, but also help you save money, keep our air cleaner, improve our health, and to create local jobs. And you can also work together with others. It might be your friends or your neighbors, your coworkers, to take action together in a group. So this was a partnership, like I said earlier, with the cities of Antioch, Walnut Creek, and San Pablo, and the County of Contra Costa and Sustainable Contra Costa, and funded by the area.
Are you going to share your screen? We're not seeing your
Oh,
screen.
yes. I thought I was. Okay. Yes, I thought I was sharing my screen. So I will go right here. Move that over, share screen. I'm disabled from sharing my screen.
Really? Okay, sorry about that. There you go. Give it a try now.
Okay. All right, sorry about that. Pull this back over here and go back to the slideshow. Okay. We're good now?
Looks good.
Okay. So, what you may not know is that 40% of the U.S. emissions in greenhouse gas emissions come from 5 basic household activities. And that's the things that we do every day, like how we heat our homes, the electricity we use, transportation, so how we get around, our food choices, and our waste streams. So those things alone make up 40%, which I thought was really surprising. Then the good news is we have solutions for all 5 of these areas where you can take action to not only significantly lower your impact, but also save money and improve your health, like reducing air pollution, improving home air quality, improve diet, and increased physical activity, and create local jobs. So this is a really important time when we have the opportunities to make an impact and create other positive local benefits. And with the current stay-at-home orders, what a better way to spend your new time than helping our planet. So let me walk through this really quickly. I'm going to take a couple minutes to show you how the platform works. This is our homepage. So the website is cleanercontracosta.org, and it's really easy to sign up. You just go right here to the Join the Challenge button, or up here at the top to the Sign Up button, and fill out a really quick little form to create your account. And then there's 3 simple steps to get started. First, the first step is to complete your energy profile. And this is answering a few questions about that'll allow you to see what your impact is today, your starting point. And then the next step is to find some actions that you want to take for your household. And the third step is to start or join a community so you can work together with a team and support and encourage each other along and celebrate your success together. Okay. So I'm going to go through step 1, completing your energy profile. This is optional. But doing it will allow you to see your current footprint and give you a more accurate information. So it takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and the questions should be easy to answer. And if there's something you don't know, you can just come back to it later. So once you've, this is your, why is this here? Anyway, so this is your impact. So once you've figured out what your impact is, once you've answered your energy profile, that's why we're here, is you can see this and you can see how your house compares to others in the region and across the world. So this is the step 2 is to find actions that are right for your household. So this is the grid where you can explore all the different actions. So you see up here, we have a new category for hanging out at home actions. And down here at the bottom of each action tile, okay, you'll see that an estimate on the annual savings and the points that you'll get by taking that action. Each point, points are tied to impact. So the more impact you have, the more points you have, the higher the points, the more impact you're going to get by taking that action. So you click on the action title and it'll take you to a page that shows you more information about your points, the upfront cost, how long it'll take to do it, your savings, like if either energy or water, any savings that'll come out of it will show up here, and your annual savings. There's also each one, a lot of them are customizable. So for example, this one, if you change the 5, switch out 5 light bulbs to 10, it would change all these numbers. Down below that part of the actions page, you'll find some helpful information on how to do each action. So changing light bulbs, for example, is not rocket science, but some of the actions are more complicated. So having these steps can be really helpful. And if you don't need these steps, you can just skip it, mark it done, and keep on going. At the bottom of each action page, this is something I'm really excited about. We have a local resources section. So you actually have to be logged in to see their local resources because they apply to what city you live in. So you'll see things like rebates that are available and other information. And this is all easily clickable and takes you right to the information. So for example, for this one, Rising Sun nonprofit offers some green house calls to help your home get your home more efficient. This is a rebate that is available through our Bay Run program for energy efficiency upgrades. And then the third step is to start or join a community, and it's so much more fun to do it with others. There are two types of communities you can create on the site. A team is meant to be small, so maybe 5 to 8 households of friends and neighbors, classmates, coworkers, whatever. All you have to do is click create a team when you're starting, when you log in. And it'll give you this team page. So you can load a photo, you can give a team name and a tagline if you want. Once you're the owner of a team, it'll also have a link here that allows you to invite others. So this, your team page, you can track your progress, see your team standings and what other actions your teammates are working on so you can support each other. Over here, you can also create a post that'll go out to only your teammates. And then the other kind of group you can create is a community group, and this is meant to be larger. So this is like for a faith-based group or a school, a soccer league, whatever. It could be an your HOA. And so unlike a team, which is meant to have up to 10 people, this can have an unlimited number of people join. And same thing, you just create the community group and you'll get this custom page where you can post a photo and a welcome message and track your progress. So the platform makes it really easy to for you to work together with your community. And there's something for everybody on the platform. We have a quick boost actions, things you can get started on right away. If you've already done a lot, there are the step it up actions. Like I said earlier, there are actions while hanging out at home, things on a budget. So over 50% of the actions on the platform are either free or very low cost and will save you money. And family-friendly actions are a great thing to do right now. Like, you know, you can get all the family to find some plant-based meals, for example, and try them out. A goal we often encourage people to, I do want to say it's really important to actually go ahead and select your actions and choose the ones that you want to do, even if you can't do them right away, because they'll be on your dashboard, and your dashboard will show you how much you're going to save and how much you'll reduce your impact, and you can set out your goal for completing those things. A goal we often encourage families, households to do is to reduce their carbon emissions by 5,000 pounds in the first 3 to 6 months. So we'll look at a quick example here. This family took 4 really simple actions, and they decided to lower their thermostat by 3 degrees, 2 to 3 degrees. You probably won't even notice a difference. They decided to replace 1 meal a week, meatless Mondays, with a plant-based meal. They got together to figure out how they could reduce some of their car trips and cut a little bit of those drive miles out every week. Obviously, another easy thing to do right now. And they opted up to 100% renewable or deep green if you have MCE. This is also really easy to do. Hopefully everybody's already doing that. It costs about $5 a month to go 100% renewable. And I have solar, but we also have that. So you're covered all around. So this is how the results were for the family. They spent $60 to opt up to deep green, but they saved over $500 a year, and they reduced their over 5,000 pounds of emissions. And that's big, that's 2 tons of emissions. So it's really easy to make a difference and see the impact that you have. So the platform is super easy to use. Again, just create your account by going to cleanercontracosta.org, create or join a community, fill out your profile to discover your current impact, choose your actions and create your plan, and start taking those actions. So you can also follow our progress as a county on this My Region page. Let me go back real quick. I just want to show you this. This is what it looks like on your page. On the left-hand side, that's your dashboard. This is the My Region page. So, sorry, this is My Region page. So that'll take you to that. This is the little stars. It shows you all the actions. Those are some quick links. But on the My Region page, you'll see, you know, right now I think we're at 620 something after this call. Hopefully we'll be up by 65 more than that, households participating. All the dollars we're saving as a community, all the gas we've saved and water collectively. And then right below this is a leaderboard. So get your team started, start taking some actions and see yourself show up on the leaderboard. And by the way, all the information that you put into the platform is all private to yourself. Nobody sees how you're doing individually as a household. That's all private. The only way you can share things is if you choose to post something about it. Every time you complete an action, you can write something about it or post a photo, which would be great. And so otherwise, it's all sort of confidential. So this is the website to get started. I hope you can pull out your phone right now if you want and sign in. It only takes, like I said, it only takes a minute to do that. And I thought it would be fun to come up with an Earth Day challenge for us. So the challenge I have is for us all to commit to 10 actions today and complete 5 of them this weekend. And then a bonus is to start a team and invite 5 to 9 of your friends to join you. So thank you all for listening.
Oh, nice.
Everybody for helping make this possible, including all the people that are using it.
Okay, Tina, if you want to stop sharing, we can see everybody again. Just do, under the controls there, just do stop sharing. Thank you. And there we are. So this has really been wonderful. We are past our time. So as I say, we'll note all of these questions and conversations in the chat. We've had some good things shared there. But we want to thank all of you for joining us. I want to thank our presenters, Supervisor John Gioia, Jody London, our County Sustainability Coordinator, Dave and Amanda Casey from Sustainable Rossmoor, Kimberly Lamb from Republic Services, and Jackie Mann from 350 Contra Costa, as well as our partners, the cities of Walnut Creek, Antioch, and San Pablo. And I guess I will show you, just kind of as the closing credits, a way that you can connect with us and get more involved. Sustainable Contra Costa is a 501c nonprofit, so you can support our work with a tax-deductible donation, and you can subscribe to our e-news, which is monthly and will contain a lot of the notifications and information about what we've been talking about today. It's right on the front page. Just put your email in. But we have active Facebook and Instagram accounts, so check us out there. And today's broadcast, we're going to call it a broadcast, will be recorded on our YouTube channel, and you can watch it later, show it to friends, and enjoy it further. And of course, send us an email if you have questions, info@sustainablecocoa.org. Okay, thanks
Thank you, everybody.
Have a wonderful
Have a lovely day.
day. Take care.